People say my hair now is ugly, and then I cry. So here is how I made July. We are joined by my friend Manat here today. Is my hair really ugly? It should be neutral. My name is Icebox, and today we're gonna be breaking down how we made July with Tim. We got quite a few things over here. We got the demo Vox. Here's the guitars, the synths and the bass. We got drums. We got drums inside of drums. The entire track starts with this guitar loop over here. My label manager, Dominic Yuan, he just transposed it down by 5 and it sounded like this. And that's the very first thing that you hear whenever like you play the track on Spotify. I got the main chords over here. They're played on a Jaguar. This pretty boy over here, I don't know the settings. This is like a bloody spaceship. Most of the guitars are just running through Archetype Corey Wong. Then we layer that with a strat that goes in the middle. Indie. Guitars. There's this melody that plays on the left side of your ear and it goes like this. Sounds like I'm dragging my balls across glass shards. This is a reverb. You put that together with the chords, it just gives it a bit more movement, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what this is. We've just used it on every song. That's an open tuning. So I just put the guitars through a little EQ, some compression, and more EQ. And all the guitars just kind of like play throughout the entire chorus. There's a solo that comes in later, which is I think some effect craziness. I think like, look at that! What is that? What does this sound like without the effects? If being a prepubescent boy in guitar had like a sound, that's what it would sound like. The main amp tone, which is this wide lead preset in Corey Wong. Then we have an EQ to tame all the low frequencies. Tim put this random monster fuzz that was in Logic. I don't know like why he chose this particular pedal, but like I guess he gave it a lot of tone. Then we put that through a reverb and some limiting and you get this. We automated the guitar so to kind of like drown in the end, and this is what it sounds like. Let's move on to the synths, bro. The synths. One of them is a splice loop that I literally just like chopped up, and like without the processing it sounds like this. This one is going through VHS, some EQ, and a tremolo. So it's going left and right in your ear and it sounds like this. There's this ARP that we made on the JX37. The other one that's on the right sounds like this. So the cool thing that I did with them actually in the pre-chorus was this riser. I did that by just taking the loop itself, making a really long fade in and switching the mode to speed up, so that like changes the pitch as the ARP gets faster and faster. There's this line that comes into the verse, it's damn funny.
That's so cute.
We're automating a bit crush mix rate on it in that last part over there. That was made with the Moog. Over here, it's a random patch I really forgot. There's a bell that plays. I don't know what this is. So I think I made that with the Korg over here. It's one of the e-piano patches, and we just put origin, some formant shifting, and a Valhalla to give it like a big reverb. Bass! The whole thing is just one track. The bass is literally the simplest part of the song. Marcus Miller, baby! Courtesy of Tim, I did not play any of the bass here. I think this was like the very first take. We just like chopped up the good parts and quantized it, and then that's it. Like, we didn't even record the bass like in subsequent sessions. It was like literally the first thing that we made. Using some CLA bass over here. I just dialed in the settings until I was like happy. Tim added this really nice decapitator patch. Decap. It's like decaf, but it's not really. It's actually reverse. You're adding caffeine to your bass. You know? You're waking it up. This is the drums. The whole drum composition starts with this break loop that I made. This is a really cool one that I made, and I put shaper box on it. Without the shaper box, it sounds like damn messy. A reverse texture thing, and then like we gated it with shaper box. Really goated plugin, you know. The whole principle is to just layer the screwed up room kit that has a lot of character with like normal sounding samples, so you get this really nice sort of original textured kit. There's a bunch of like loops that I find to like make it sound more like a real kit. Like there's this ride that plays in the chorus, you know. Hi-hat. The percussions, like they go crazy, bro. There's a track called Noise. What is this? It's just noise. I don't know, I guess it adds a tape machine flavor. Speaking of tape machines, I used a J37 on the drum bus. Favorite plugin for this kind of like room texture. When I put it in, it sounds amazing. There's this weird pitch delay Foley thingy that I found on Splice. Sounds like this. Put a bunch of like Bit Crusher, Echo Boy, Ping Pong, and some filtering on it, you know, so it sounds like this. Kind of sounds like water droplets. There's this really cool laser riser that sounds like, along with a actual white noise riser. ADHD! You need ADHD to make tracks like this. You gotta think that your listener has like zero attention span, and you gotta keep distracting them. Alright, the vocals are in a separate project file, so we're gonna have to like travel to another Logic file to do that. We're now in the vocal file. Congratulations, you survived the journey. Vocals, relatively simple. Actually, the processing is pretty much the same for all of them. So I'm gonna get into this vocal chain, you know, for all y'all producers that wanna steal this Here it is.
Bleeding, but it's out in a minute. The pain leaves for a while just to fit in again.
Record that on a Neumann TLM. I'm just gonna like slowly zoom on it as I edit it on CapCut with like the markers. It's right there at the edge of my seat over here. Putting it through a I don't know what this is. It's an EQ that cuts the sub frequencies, and then tuning. And then we put it through some R compression.
Bleeding, but it's out in a minute.
Putting it through some EQ, taming all the low end stuff so that the vocal's not so boomy. Here's the secret sauce. If you want to make your vocals brighter, I use a saturation plugin for the high end. So I'm boosting it with more harmonics than if you just do it with a normal EQ curve. So much brighter.
Bleeding, but it's out in a minute.
Now that you've done that, you got a lot of sibilances that you kind of want to tame. So pro trick, if you're not broke and you have a budget, you can use Soothe 2 as a de-esser.
Bleeding, but it's out in a minute.
I'm adding a Magma little tube for some saturation and warmth for the vocal.
Bleeding, but it's out in a minute.
I don't really know how to describe it. It just gives it a lot more character. And then we got this Echo Boy that's doing a small slapback at a 16th note rate, and I'm pairing that up with a vintage verb that's just on a plate reverb setting.
Bleeding, but it's out in a minute. The pain leaves for a while just to fit in again.
Yeah, and that's pretty much how I processed all the vocals. If anything, the backing vocals, I ditched the saturation and I'm just using a harder de-esser so that the sibilance isn't so harsh when all the vocals play together. I'm putting throws on some words.
Wow, just to fit in again.
My favorite part, the harmonies.
Cut me open and it feels like July all over.
Rather than him recording one take of the high harmony and me recording one take of the high harmony, we'd look at which person had like a better sound for that specific range. So we decided to keep the low harmonies from my takes, and we would keep the higher registers from him. So this is what like the entire thing really sounds like.
Cut me open and it feels like July all over.
The other thing we could probably talk about is this vocoder over here. It gives a much more warm texture to the harmonies.
Cut me open and it feels like July all over.
It's a infected mushroom manipulator plugin layered with an Evoc PS vocoder machine from Logic. Putting both vocoders through a Teletronics LA2A, some saturation from the Little Tube and Magma, some EQ to tame the low end, and a de-essing plugin so that the high like screechy artifacts from the sibilances don't get so harsh in the mix. This is what the entire chorus vocal sounds like.
Cut me open and it feels like July all over.
That room texture thingy that you guys are hearing is the gang vocals we recorded. We got this Shure microphone, the SM71, and then we just put it in the roof of like the ceiling. The roof of the what am I on? We just put it like at the highest point in the room and we pointed it down. Set right there at that couch. Manat was actually sitting in the same spot.
Oh yeah.
You were sitting in the same spot as you were when we recorded this. We did quite a few different takes for them. There's a lot more like shouting, but it's still singing the melody. This one was, I think, a harmony. And then this one is like I don't know, I think it's another double. We had like takes where we were just shouting. I'm putting the gang through a preamp and I'm putting it through some Saturn to saturate like the high end of the room to give the really big kind of stadium sound. Some EQ mid-side and this reverb called Raum, which is really great if you want to sound like super big. Like there's this diffusion and size knob that's the game changer. There's these ad-libs at the end. Okay, Vocal King. Shout out to Michaela, who is my artist manager, because she has this weird talent of being able to make like
Baby kid noises.
kid voices. We asked her to just say a random day in July.
It's the 21st of July, 2024.
It sounds so sassy. Yeah, she's gonna kill you when she finds out I put it here. Shout out to Michaela. I'm format shifting it this time, and there's a delay throw that happens at the end, which is an 8-note ping pong delay.
It's the 21st of July, 2024.
That personally is my favorite part of the track, and that's pretty much it. You know, be on the lookout for more of our stuff. Stream July, man.